Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about data profiling in Power BI. But before that, I'll show you how to upload the data from Excel file to Power BI. Right. So this Excel file data is completely prepared for this video purpose. So you can see here the data where I'm using the three columns: year, category, and sales information. With help of this data, I'm going to load this data into Power BI and then um, create one small dashboard, just simple dashboard, and then we'll talk about the data quality issues that we get it in real time and how we can solve it systematically by using the Python code as well as the normal Power BI method. Okay, so without any delay, let's get into the details. We'll load the Excel file into the Power BI. So I just opened the Power BI desktop, and here I can click on this option like import data from Microsoft Excel workbook, or I can go to get data and click on Excel workbook. So once I go there, I go to the documents, and then under the documents, we have the file that I prepared, missing values in Power BI. I just select that file and start importing the data. Once the data is reading to the Power BI, so there is a one window will open, the navigator window. So within this Excel file, I have only one sheet, so I choose this sheet. Then, okay, let me close the file before I pull it. Okay, so now you can see here. Um, okay, so there are some empty columns, but my data is available only in the year category sales. What I'll do, I'll simply do the transform data. Right, so when it's click on the transform data, there is a Power Query window will open. Right, so let me okay, let me do this. So what I want to do, then I will delete all these unnecessary columns which I don't require. Okay, so remove columns. I just remove the columns. Now I'll simply go there, and I mean, not only removing columns, we can do any transformation that we would like to do. We can add the new columns here, or you can do some calculation and everything. We'll come to that later, but for now we simply upload the data to Power BI. So once I deleted the columns, I just click on close and apply. Now my Excel data onboarded to Power BI. Okay, still it's a reading. Yeah, 29 rows loaded. It's a simple file. I'm not complicating anything. So I mean, as a beginner standpoint, I want to show how to upload the data and how to do the data profiling. Okay, so now I have the data here, and then you can see here year is marked as a integer, and sales and categories mapped as a string columns. Now I'm going to, what I'll do, I'll just transform the data. Okay, I click on this column and change the data type. Okay, so from text to decimal number. Okay, and then you have one error row. Okay, so we'll come back that later. And then here, this column, I want to change that to, whole number. Yeah, presently it's on whole number, and I want to change that to, let me change to text. Okay, so now I save these changes and close the transformation window. So now the new changes are getting applied. Okay, so you can see here there is a warning: one of the loaded queries contained errors, and instead of 29 rows, it's only loaded the 28 rows. Okay, already shown, right, which is there is one error. I'll explain, I'll come back later. Okay, click close. So now here I'll simply put sales information and selecting the dashboard, the scorecard. Yeah, just simple card. So my total sales, you can see here, my total sales is 2.83 million. You can rename that sum of sales to anything you want, right? So total sales. Okay, so that's the name I want to give, so I given. And then I can also, I want to see the one line graph. Okay, I'm sorry, it's changed to here. Let me click here and then click on the line graph. In this line graph, what I want to do, so I will drag my sales information under the y-axis and the years information under the x-axis. Okay, so now I see the graph. Okay, now what I'll do, for this filter category, I want to use it like a slicer. Okay, kind of filter for us. So now you can see here, so these are my filters. Now if I select the cloths, I'll get only the cloths related information, and if I select bikes, I'll get the bikes information. In case if you want to change these two, if you want to change this format, you can go to the format tab. Under the format tab, you have a visuals tab, and then you can change the settings. So if you want to show your parameter values in tiles, so kind of boxes, selecting this way or this way, you can change it. Or if you want to do drop down, so you can choose in drop down, and also you can control the selection, whether you want to all the time only let the user select a single value, you can do that. Okay, if you select a single value, the user can select only one value at a time. But if you don't want, then you can allow the multiple selection. Also you can do select all. Okay, select all option, but select all option will work only the vertical list, I think. Yeah, here it will work. So these are the the slicer setting that you can do. You can hide your header if you want, so you can do that. And if in case if you want to show, you can still show, and you can show summary and all. It will show what is the selection that you did. It will show here. If you don't enable this option, it shows nothing. So let's show you. So show summary, when I enable it, I selected bikes, and if I selected cloths and then select all, then it's showing the all. Whatever the value that you selected, that value will get displayed into the category. Okay, it's called breadcrumb. Okay, so I hope people who worked on the SRS report, they are aware of it. It's called breadcrumb. So it will show what are the filters parameters that user been selected in the top. So that's the beauty of this option. Okay, so now we are good with this slicer settings, right? And values also you can format, and you can change the background color, font colors that you can apply here. Now what I'll do, I'll simply add one more pie chart. Let me do that here. So what I'll do, I'll simply drag the one pie chart. Under here I'll take the sales and then category. Now you can see here, you get more insights. So 59%, I'm getting the sales from the clothes. Only the 41% I'm getting the from the bikes category. Right. So this is how we can read through it. So this is how you can simply upload the Excel file and build your basic dashboard. Not only the Excel file, you can do the same thing for the SQL or CSV. If it is, I'll cover that part in the upcoming videos. How to uh, load the data from CSV file to Power BI, SQL to Power BI, and all for now. So this video, we just stick to the Excel workbook. Okay. So now I'm good with my dashboard. Maybe I quickly rename this value, the title. What I'll do, so if you don't know any option, then you can search still here. Okay. You can customize your title. Okay. What I'll do, category wise sales, that's the title I want to give. So it's changed here. Okay, so I'm good. I think I don't want to complicate this report with a lot of options, but yeah, any option you want to know, so you select that particular visualization, go to the format visuals and search it, because so you can see here anything related the information you can see here. Okay, or you need to scan each option by option. Okay, so that's how you need to do it. Now we are good with one card and one pie chart and one slicer to filter out the data, and one line chart. Okay, so that's about building this dashboard. Now in the starting, we when we look at the data, there is some problem with the data quality, right? So now you can see here the sales column is actually having the missing values. So there is a one value missing for 2018, there is another value missing for 2022, and then there is a one error value for 2019. Okay, so this is the data type decimal column, but the values are coming as a NA. Right, now we are going to handle these three rows. Okay, so usually whenever you get the clean data, right, so using the data we do some kind of analysis, like forecasting the sales values, or doing the regression, linear regression, logistic regression. Some of the algorithms we run it. So when you need to run those algorithms, your data should be in qualitative way instead of the quantitative way, right? So now it's pretty important for me to clean these three rows. Okay, so usually how do you do? So if it is random missing, then you will fill with either with average or median value for those null values or missing values. But if it is a non-random values, then you feel that it's uh, can be fixed by the data provider, then you will ask them to you'll ask them check and fix that issue and resend the data. That's how the exchange will happen between the data analyst and the data scientist and data engineers, right? So now consider that this is the random values. So now I want to replace these error records with my average value. Okay, so these three rows I want to fill with average value. Okay, so but before that, I want to know that how many rows I have the problem. Now you can see here, since the values are, we have only 29 rows, I can simply tell that okay, only we have a problem with 3 rows. But imagine if you have a 1 lakh record or 1 million records. What we do in the scenario, we cannot scroll and do all those things, right? In such scenarios, what you can do to check your data quality or data profile, you need to go to the enable few settings to see that information. Now I'm going to enable the two options so that I will get my data profiling. Data profiling is nothing but how quality our data, whether we have any missing values, or whether we have a random values, or whether we have any issues with data rows. You will see all that information under the data profiling. To do that, so now we are in the transformation tab. Under that, go to view. In the view, you'll see there are the options. Okay, so column distribution. So if you click this option, what happened? Show column value distribution in data preview. So let's click this option. It will show you how your column is distributed. You have a 14 distinct values and 0 unique values. Okay, so there are all are repeated values, and you have a 2 distinct values for this column and 0 unique values. And since we have a problem with this column, it's not showing, right? So that's the column distribution will help. Now I'm not focusing on column distribution. Now I'm going to check my data profile of each column. So now you can see here the count of rows are 28 and one row is error row. And then if I see column quality, you can see that, okay, out of first year column, we don't have any error or we don't have any empty values. All the data is good 100%. Even category column, we have a good percentage. But you have a problem with error row, one row, right? First, you need to fix that one error row so that it will provide you the the empty values list. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll simply, okay, so go to this error row, I mean this column, replace error rows. So I want to replace error rows with, you know I'll replace with 0 first. Okay, so that I will get the average, right? So now I replace the error row with 0. Now you can see here I have the impact on 7% impact on impact with null rows out of 100%. 93% of the data is accurate. Only 7% of the data I have a problem, which is the empty values. Now, what are you going to do? So I need quick stats, right? So like what is this average value and all those details, right? So you can see here when I click that column, you got these details. Okay. So usually you need to select this option instead of column profiling based on top 1000 rows. If you select column profiling based on entire data set, you will get entire data set quality index. Okay, quality statistics and everything, you will get it. Now coming to our column, so rest of the two columns are good. Now this column we have a problem. Now what I want to do, so I want to select this column. Okay, and then replace values. Okay, wherever I have a null values, I want to replace with my average. My average value is that you can see here in the bottom, which is okay, let me drag this side so that I can see what is my average value, which is 108782.8. Okay, so now I'm going to replace null values with my average value, 108782.8. This is my average value. Okay, and then click OK. That's it. So now my empty values are filled with this value. Even my 0 value also I want to replace with average value. Okay, I have the 10 row, right? So I want to replace that 0 with so what is the value? Replace with 108782.8. Okay, so now my 0 value also replaced with average value. Okay, so once you've done that, we go and click on close and apply. So now the data will get refreshed, right? And then so it will change your pattern. Now previously you see there is one row missing. Because of that, the percentage of the sales between the clothes and bikes was different, right? Now you can see here there is a total sales value increased 3.15 million, and even you have the, if you select the bikes, there is a continuous values that are populating. Similarly, clothes also, there are the values are populating. So this is how you can uh, change it. Okay, but what if you want to do these things in systematic way? And previously, we handled the data quality issues using the Power BI hard-coded method. Okay, so where we know the values and we replace directly with average values. Now we're going to um, repeat the same dashboard, and but this time we're going to work on the Python code to fill the null records or missing value records. So I just reopen the fresh Power BI dashboard. I'm going to bring the same data using the Excel workbook, and then I just imported the missing values in Power BI. Now the data is getting loaded to my Power BI, right? So click here, the data, and then I'll do little transform the data, because I have we have a problem with the data types, right? The column year and sales. So under the sales value, we have one NA record, which is a string value. So what I'll do, I'll simply do small transformation by clicking the transform data. So it will open the list of the columns, and then let me delete these columns which we don't require. So select these columns to here and right click and remove columns. So the columns are deleted. Okay, remove columns. Okay, and now here you can see the year column. I want to convert this from whole number to text. That is the one thing I did. And you can see here the quality or profiling information of these columns are good. There are no empty values, but here you can see there are the empty values, and there is a zero error values. Now I change this sales column to decimal number. Now you can see here there is a one error record. Okay, so now what I will do, I will simply replace this error record, because error record, right? So I don't want to remove the error record. Instead of remove, I want to replace the error record. Okay, and then replace errors with null. Okay, so I want to fill that error row with average value of my sales. Okay, so that's the reason I kept it null. So when I'm writing the Python code, the Python will automatically update this null records with average sales value. That is the uh, uh, thing I'm going to do it. Now I'm good with my basic data. The data is transformed. Now I'm going to simply click on close and apply. I'll quickly, the data will get loaded here. So it's loading. 29 rows loaded. I'll simply build just same dashboard that we built in the previous window. And then first I'll take the card. Under the card, I will show total sales value. And then, so 283 is my total sales value. I'll simply draw a line graph, right? But my line graph, I don't want to take this line graph. Instead of this line graph, what I'll do, I will use the Python line graph. Okay, so to do that, I just select the Python, right? So now here I drag the columns, which are the columns I required, and then sales, and then category. Okay, so now I got my columns that I required. Now here what I'll do, I'll simply import pandas library, and then import matplotlib pyplot library. Just a give alias name plt. Now I want to draw a line chart. I'll put lines. That's my data frame. Then I say data set dot plot dot line chart. Here my x is year, and my y is equals to sales. Now I'll say plot plt dot show. Now I'll run this query. So my line graph will get built. Okay, so you can see here. Now what I'll do, I will also add my slicer here. The slicer, I will drag it to category. So based on my category, my values will get changed. Even this code also, the Python code also will take the input of category and change the data, right? So now we are good with basic dashboard with Python code, Python line chart. Now I'm going to handle the these blank values, the null values we have, right? The null values I want to replace with average value. Now to do that, again I go back to the home tab and then click on transform data and then transform data. Once I click on the transform data, go to the transform tab and run the Python script. So again, this Python script will be using this location to call it, which we set the Python library location to the file, right? Power BI file option. So the same location it will be used and calling the libraries. Okay. So now my data set is already onboarded. So that called data set. And then first, before I need to replace the average value, let's do sorting of my values by using the pandas. So here I want to sort the data based on year, and then in place equals to true. After sorting, I want to handle the null records. For that I will use null ds. That's the name I want to give it. So here I say group by my data set, group by, and I want to group the information at year level, and then I want to take the average sales information, and then so the average sales information I want to take. So for that I'm using the transform function and take the mean value, right? So then now I'll say my data set equals to sales, and then there is a function called fill NA. So all null records will be converted as NA in Python dataset. So now I want to replace that NA records with null DS, whatever the null DS we have, right? So the average value, the sales average value year wise will be stored under the null DS data set. Okay, so I'm going to use that null DS wherever the NA records is there, right? In that place, it will replace the null DS value. I'll say in place true, and then I can say print data set. Click OK. Now that's it. Information required. Yeah, so it's asking the data privacy. So since this is demo data, I don't mind about data privacy. Click continue, and then why it's throwing the error. So the Python code, right? Okay, so I'll say public. Don't worry about it. And public. Ignore privacy level checks. Okay, save. I mean, this is the Python code and it's open, right? That's the reason it's asking you to the privacy check. Whatever the code that I'm using, your data, it's telling that your data will be exposed to public. Okay, or I can restrict those settings by selecting the public, organization, or private. Okay, so that code and everything, the data will be set it up based on your selection. Now my data is ready. So now I click on table. When I click on the table, wherever you have a null values previously, right? So those values will be replaced with average value. Okay, so you can see here now I don't have any null values. I think this is the, where is the average? I think okay, let me open Excel file to see where and all we replace the values, right? So missing values, and then here you can see 2018 bikes. That's the where 2018 bikes. 2018 bikes. Yeah, you can see here this value, the average value is replaced. At the same time for clothes also the average value is replaced, right? So this is how you can do the replacement of average. Not only this, in case if you want to replace your data, okay, if I go here, run Python script, and yeah, if I go here, run script, okay, sorry, if I go inside of the settings, in case if I want to replace with max value, I can do max, click OK. Okay, so not only mean, you can use the any max or mean or median So all those values you can use and fill under here. Okay, so now you can see here, now I replaced with max value, right? Now the values are getting changed. Anyway, so my empty values are got replaced with max value. Now you can see here the profiling of the data, there are no empty values. Now I go back to home and click close and apply. So now you can see here, definitely the 1.68 million will get increased because we replaced the max value, right? See, 1.8 million is changed, right? So this is how you can handle your missing data, and then or you can replace any specific value. You can do using the either hard coded method or using the Python code. So Python code, using the Python code is more effective, more systematic way than hard coded method. The hard coded method generally you can apply when you have a less data, but when you have a huge volume of the data, Python code is the best option. So that's about this video, handling the missing values in the Power BI. Hope this video helpful. If you like this video or the video is helpful for you, please hit a like button